picked up tractor.
Oh, I don't kneel.
Oh, no.
How'd you get stuck way out here?
I was at the slaughterhouse. I got an uncle that works at the slaughterhouse. Hey, my brother works there. My grandfather, too.
Hold on. Hold on. I was like, where's the damn remote? Hold on. I just want to take a wet my whistle a little bit there. Hey, everybody. Happy Halloween. Well, it's not Halloween yet. That's tomorrow. Yeah, it's Friday afternoon. I got to work tonight, so it is about 1 in the afternoon. I watched some TV stuff. I got kind of a lighting set up here, so I don't have to do all that weird stuff. But it's still kind of cloudy out. It's been overcast most of the week and rainy and cold and fall-like. So anyway, yeah, I just had to. This is hold my hand around like that. Do like that. How's that? I'm tired today. Anyway, I hate these Fridays. These Fridays are odd. Why am I telling you this? It's just because I kind of have to force myself to go to sleep like around 4 and get up at 9 to go to work at 10, work the whole overnight shift, and then come back, go to sleep, and then get up. And tomorrow's going to be a big day because tomorrow I got a lot of Halloween viewing I want to do. I want to squeeze in and hopefully avoid all the trick-or-treaters. Anyway, so yeah, had to put this in. I watch it every year, sometimes twice a year, depending on my mood. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original 1974 Tobe Hooper flick that is my #1 favorite horror movie of all time. If you could put a title on it, of all time. That light is a little bright. Let me see if I can angle that a little better so it's not so glary. That's a little better. I don't know. Whatever. I'm not Mr. Professional, folks. So yeah, why do I like this movie? Man, it just started. The intensity hasn't even gotten into it yet. I had heard about this film and saw stills in various magazines when I was very young. The stills mainly was with the hitchhiker and Marilyn Burns, and she's got the gag, and he's laughing at her. And then the famous with Leatherface running out of the farmhouse holding that chainsaw, and then seeing the poster and the old Rex Reed thing, the most terrifying movie I ever seen. And it's like, I want to see this movie, but I was too young. They wouldn't let me go to the theaters to see it. I couldn't sneak in back then. Although I was watching stuff like Corpse Grinders, which was and Herschel Gordon Lewis movies, which were way gorier than this movie. This is more considered a school project, arts project, horror film. But anyway, yeah, I eventually got around to seeing it at a kind of like when it came back. I believe throughout the 80s it came back on the big screen, and I went and saw it. And I think that was the first time I saw it and appreciate, or maybe it was a midnight show. Maybe it was a midnight show that I went and saw this. Because back then I was watching a lot of midnight stuff. I was going to see like Dawn of the Dead, and there was another one that used to play on the midnight shows all the time. Well, Rocky Horror. But I believe maybe I saw this the first time at a midnight show, which I couldn't get the full impact of because, when you go to those things, everybody's just screaming and whatever. I'm going way too long than I need to go with this. Anyway, that's the tale of Roger's stories. No, there's something about, and every time I've watched it since, it really just settles in with me. This is my horror. I stressed in earlier videos that I'm not afraid of ghosts. I ain't afraid of no ghosts. I ain't afraid of anything, alien stuff, that's science fiction, and giant monsters, that's all, craziness. So when it comes to like plagues and sicknesses and illnesses, like the zombie stuff, the outbreak, or the 28 days later outbreak, things like that, wreck, those things kind of scare me because you don't know. The Bay is another one. You don't know what kind of parasites or things out there. Flesh-eating disease, when that thing came around, it was like, what? Your flesh just melts away. horrifying stuff, horrifying for those people that had to have endure and experience it. But the other thing was like home invasion or crazy people, where you're in the middle of the nowhere and there's no way to get away from these people that are set in their own ways of life, whether it be no care for humanity and you're basically food for them because they're cannibals or things like that. Or like I said, home invasion. You're home, your family, you feel you're safe, and somebody breaks in and they want money or they rape or they murder or they rob. That stuff scares me more than anything. That's like my favorite horror subgenre, I guess I would say. But Chainsaw fit into that, or maybe developed it in my psyche after watching it and being not so much scared or terrified, but just uneasy watching the movie. Being that it's very, and this is a great version of it on Blu-ray. That's my phone and I can't get it. Being that grainy, that old like film stocky look, gave it to me a realism, which is what most critics say, docu-style filmmaking. But you meet to put these characters, and some people even say, well, I can't get into it now because these characters are so different than what people are today, which is thus they got the Chainsaw remake, which is all good and fine. You got those characters acting like modern day characters. But here it was like I grew up knowing, my older brother was like these, with the bell-bottom pants and the long hair, and hey man, how's it going? And I knew a lot of people like that. So and growing up and being young watching this, it was very realistic. It was like, this is happening now in the 70s, although I saw it in the 80s.
How are you? Would you fill her up, please? I got no gas. You're out of gas? My tank's empty. Transport won't be here until late this afternoon.
Yeah, Jim Sidow.
Hey, you know where the old Franklin place is?
Oh, wait a minute. This scene has been done so many times in so many horror movies. What do you want to go up there for? There's nothing up there. Yeah, somebody I read a review one time said that Tobe Hooper can make soap suds on a car windshield look scary. That scene, it's just so creepy. The guy's sitting there outside the gas station, he's looking up at the sun, and then he just comes along and he's like, blush, 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 while the conversation goes on. Even though it has the humor of him walking back and forth, it's still kind of creepy. There's something going to happen. Something's going on. And Jim Sidow, man, poor rest his soul, he's passed since. I wish I would have got to meet him. I met Ed O'Neill at a convention, which is really cool. He's a big foreign poster guy. Bought a couple foreign posters from him, which I haven't even shown. But anyway, and I got his autograph, and Gunnar Hansen. But I would have loved to meet Jim Sidow. I thought he was the most naturalistic guy, almost like an uncle, but there was something creepy about him. There was something, especially in those like torture scene, not torture, but the scene around the dinner table when, Hitchhiker's going up to Marilyn and he's making those faces and leather faces looking. And in the back you kind of see Jim Sidow, he's laughing, but then he's almost ashamed that he's laughing, looking around, then he laughs again. Very creepy, very, and that's what scared me. It's like, I don't know if I could trust this guy. And then the scene where she gets to the gas station when she's been chased, and he's being all like fatherly, but then he starts beating her with the broom and putting her in the bag, and in the car he's like poking her and laughing, and that stuff, that's what does it to me. This thing really creeps me out, man. And then we're coming up, well, we got quite a bit yet, but we got the famous door scene. The guy getting hit in the head, and then the muscle reacting, and the nervous system going with the body, and the guy just shaking. That was the first time I saw that, and that was like very realistic. It's like, yeah, something would fuck up with your brain, and your nerves would start spazzing. That added a realism to me that I, my little sidelight left, but we're okay, I think. That really affected me. And then, not much happens other than it all takes place in this one evening until she escapes. But the way it's done, the way it's shot, the way it's I'm just gonna let this go. The way it's that's too bright. I'm trying to set something up here for old cheap production Roger. Yeah, just the way that final scene is shot, the editing, the extreme close-ups of Marilyn Burns' eye pupils and dilating, and that scream she has is just horrifying. That scream was so realistic, like she was really being hurt and tortured and in pain. And then there's this whole history of the film, making of how horrible the time they had making it. I'm not going to get into all that. But anyway, so this is what I'm watching. And I love the second one. The second one has a touch of humor to it more. And you got Tom Savini in there doing some effects. Sadly, some of them were really edited out. But I like the balance of the humor and the terror of that one. And I love that they brought Jim Sydow back. Because he connects those two movies to me, because they had a different Leatherface, and I love Stretch and LG and all those characters from there. But anyway, so yeah, I'm watching this. This is Chainsaw. I don't know if I'm going to show any more because I don't want no copyright things for the vision or the audio, although it's just Scream and Chainsaw. I can go more and more on this. Maybe in a future video I'll do like a commentary to this movie. Again, I'm thinking about doing that, just talking through a movie. I don't know how I can do that online, with the video, unless it's just me, and then I just tell you people, sync it up now, start it, and then play me along with your movie, instead of actually showing the movie in the corner of the screen somewhere. So anyway, yeah, I'm watching this. It's the day before Halloween. I got to work tonight. I got to have something to eat. I got a little teriyaki Chinese frozen, but it's food. And then I got to go to bed. So this is old Roger D. On the 31 views of Halloween. We're up to 30. I'm watching the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, my #1 favorite horror film of all time. And I'm going back to it to relive the intensity of Sally and her friends getting turned into food. Well, not really, because, well, we don't know. I guess they did end up as food, because other than the hitchhiker, the other two were still out there. And what's with the guy washing the windows at the gas station? Who is he? For a while, I always thought that was the Leatherface character. But his movement, it's not the same. And that's not Gunnar Hansen. Anyway, I'm off to watch the rest of my movie. We'll see you tomorrow. The big day. The big day. All right, guys. Happy holidays. See you tomorrow. Bye.